Let me tell you about June LeLoy, the total home brand from the family behind LeLoy Rugs. As a new brand, June LeLoy brings a fresh design perspective. As a member of the LeLoy family, it brings over 2 decades of trade expertise to the table, putting your business and your projects in good hands. Browse June LeLoy's total home selection, and you'll find something for every project, from artisan-made rugs and customizable seating to dining furniture, decor, lighting, and more. Apply to the June LeLoy Trade Program for access to exclusive pricing, top-tier service, and other benefits for your business. Visit JuneLeLoy.com/trade today. That's JOONLOLOI/trade. The link will also be in the show notes. Welcome to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company Window Works from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. I want to ask you a question. Do you feel like you're running a successful design firm? Like it feels pretty good, but it still feels like the business side is heavier than you want it to be. Because here's the thing, if that's the case, your talent is probably not the problem. And you probably know that it's not your experience that's the problem either. But what it is likely lack of structure, lack of systems. And that will negate your talent and experience every single time. And it will also wear you down fast. Today's guest understands this from lived experience. Today, I'm talking with Emily Yeates, founder and principal designer of Urban Revival in Phoenix, Arizona. Emily has built a highly respected design firm, but what really stood out to me when we met was how clearly she understood her business. Emily is also the creator of The Business Edit, which is a 3-day immersive business mentorship for interior designers held during Las Vegas Market. This is not a market tour, which are valuable, by the way, but this isn't that. This is not theory. This is real-world business education built from nearly 20 years of running a profitable interior design firm. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about the problems that you whisper about behind the scenes, pricing furniture profitably, managing contractors without losing your mind, tracking your profitability, and creating systems that don't rely on you being everywhere all of the time. If you've ever thought, I love design, but the business part feels harder than it should, then this conversation is for you. And I'm happy to introduce you to Emily Yeates. Hey, Emily, thanks so much for joining me on A Well-Designed Business today.
Oh, so nice to be here, LuAnn.
So you and I met at Vegas Market. Was it last winter or was it a year ago summer? Was it summer market or what? Do you remember?
Man, I don't know.
I
have no idea.
I think it might have been a year and a half ago summer market. I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think actually it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, 2 things struck me when I met you, how smart you were. And how smart you talked about your business. And I remember thinking, oh, that's a #smart lady right there. And then you were telling me how you teach other interior designers to be smart like you. And I was like, huh. And we chatted a little bit about it, but I don't think we got really deep in the weeds about the Business Edit, which is this 3-day business immersion event that you run for interior designers. And what I've been learning about it is there's big transformations that come out of spending 3 days with you at the business edit, Emily.
Yes.
And so I'm super excited. Talk to us a little. Just tell us what it is. When is it happening? And then I'll pick it apart and find out all the gory details that I need to know.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we've been doing these 3-day market trips for the last couple years during the Las Vegas market in Vegas. So at the end of January and at the end of July, we take a group of designers there, and it all started out as kind of my way. I was constantly meeting designers at coffee, giving them, advice, and then I realized like this just isn't enough. Like I need to give them the whole like vision of how to better their business and make more money. And so I basically just took our business, put it in a palatable format, and started taking designers then to market and teaching them every step of the way how we have done what we do and continue to do. And it's been a real blast doing that.
Well, and the thing about it is what's funny is, and we're going to pick this apart so we have a greater understanding, is because when you hear that description, at some level, you can make an assumption is almost like a market tour. Hey, I teach you what vendors, what's high, middle, high, and low. And, I teach you how to talk to vendors and set up accounts. But it's a whole lot more than that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because one of my first impressions of that shocked me when I was speaking to so many designers was that they didn't quite understand wholesale furniture. And so my original idea was, well, I'm going to take you to market and I'm going to show you how to do it. But then that became 1/50th of the program and what I was teaching. But Vegas market is just an incredible venue to be at. And so, that is one tiny little sliver, but it's just a very convenient place to be and a fun place to be and to be inspired. And so we teach the entire program while we're there, while we're meeting vendors. And so it's something you need to go to market anyway as a designer. So
Yes.
who has time to do other things on the side? It's like we're doing it all in one place.
Right. And when you say you do it at market, so the event, we'll get into the details of what's included and so forth, but when you're at actual market and you're introducing them to vendors and introducing to the concept of wholesale and introducing the concept of markup and all of that stuff, that's clear to me. You're walking the 3 buildings.
Yep.
Where do you do the training, the sit down and open the books and let me teach you how to price something, or let me teach you how to do an inquiry, and let me teach you how to, talk to a contractor? Because I'm understanding all of that is in these 3 days.
Yeah. So it's kind of all over the place. We do lots of different things. So we start out at a restaurant in a private room, and then we head over to market, and we're in a private room at one of our vendors that fully supports this program and has seen amazing things happen. And then we move over to another vendor showroom, and we're in a private room there. And then we go over to a suite at the casino at night. It's just kind of all over. We're really condensed in Vegas, and it's a fun place to be. So, yeah.
That's great. That's great. So now, okay, so let's get a little bit into what are some of the core things that a designer struggles with that, if that's your pain point, girl, come on down.
Okay. Yes.
The challenges, right?
So these are all things I struggled with for years and years. And then once I kind of figured out the solves for them and continued to network with designers, there are things I realized even people who have been in this business for 15, 20 years are still struggling with them. So they're things that I just have noticed across the board we all struggle with, and no matter how long we've been in the business or short term we've been in the business. And it's bad contractors, having to project manage bad contractors. How do we charge? How do we even track profitability? How do I sell furniture to a client whose budget is limited And, how do I balance that? A lot of designers feel bad about making a lot of money. That's been maybe one of the most shocking things to me
Yeah.
is that they treat their projects like pro bono cases. and so just the inability for designers to make money shocked me so much that I was like, I can't handle this anymore. We're getting down and
Yeah.
dirty, and I'm going to teach you how to run a profitable business and an efficient business and give your clients a much better product.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a thing, right? It's like, not only is there the initial between the ears problem that many business owners have, which is, I don't think I can charge for this, or I don't know how to charge. They're two
Mm-hmm.
different problems.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, then there's the external thing that happens in the marketplace where, for many years, the consumer has been trained to say, can I have your discounts? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get your discounts, right? And it's just such like, it's a good thing we're interviewing pretty late at my time after 2 days of jury duty, because even when I say that line, my blood boils and I
Yes.
usually get very animated.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, and it's become cliche now to say,
Mm-hmm.
what other service provider do you work with or do you go to that you feel like you can say, how much did that filet cost you wholesale? But you know what, right? But you know what
Yeah.
pisses me off about this, Emily, is I started saying that to designers 100 years ago. Who else
Mm-hmm.
do you ask what they charge? And now
No one.
designers repeat it to me, but they still accept it. They still do the conversation of, oh, when you work with me, I share my discounts. When you work with me, I pass my discounts on. And I'm just like, so I know that this is a problem because designers do it.
Yeah.
If all designers just stop doing it, all restaurants don't do it. It's not like 5 do and 10 don't. None of them do.
None of them.
They might put the calories at the end of the thing on the menu, but they're not going to say their wholesale cost. And when they give you their check, there isn't an itemized wholesale cost of what that food costs. It's hysterical, but that's what happens. So for you, when you are tackling this particular problem in your 3-day business edit, you've got to first tackle the mindset problem and then the actual, even if I believe and own it as a designer, now I need the language to communicate it to my consumer, right?
Yep. Yeah, and we have a whole section called Tough Client Communications or Tough Client Conversations, and I make them write down word for word and record it what I say. So I'm just like, throw it at me. What are the questions that your clients ask that you get a little uneasy, or your contractors, what are they? Throw those questions at me. And so they say, do I get your discount? And I just say, all right, record me. And it rolls off my tongue exactly what I say. And I just tell them story after story. Yeah. Well, with this client, this happened. This client, this happened. This client, this happened. This is what I used to do. This is what I do now. And this is how I've seen it affect my business. And because I've been there, I've been in their shoes. I've had the worst clients of all time and with the tiniest budgets. And these are still the things I say and do, and they work. Yeah. And so, I'm giving exact scripts, and it's go home and memorize this, because never again will you offer a discount.
Now, everybody listening is like, could you just tell us that one right now?
I mean, sure.
Okay, thank you.
But what I encourage the designers to do is to really just no longer think of confrontation, right? There's conversations, and when if there's anything that makes your blood boil, like, do I get your discount? It's write that down. And then write confrontation, cross it out, and write honest conversation. So when I get that question, I just say, look, I understand some designers have done that in the past with you or your friend, but our pricing is not structured that way. We price our projects so that we can design it for you. And then any income that is made later on through maybe trade discounts, we keep that, because that is how I pay salaries and how we can stay on your project for the year to come. It's how we take care of you. And then it's like just such an honest conversation that the good clients all say, oh, totally makes sense. I'm not trying to take your income from you. And then the bad clients weed themselves out at the beginning, and we're done.
Right. And it's pre-contract, so they can go, right?
Yeah, they can go. And it has saved us so many heartaches.
Yeah. Well, what I love, Emily, about what you said is cross out confrontation and put in conversation, because in my own coaching one-on-one with designers and my chairman of the board, I have to tell you, if in the course of the year, between the 5 that I work with in a year, separately, individually, in the course of a year, each of them will probably have anywhere from 3 to 8 situations with a client
Mhm,
that when they come to me with the verbatim of what
mhm,
happened, they have processed it as a confrontation. They haven't
mhm,
answered it yet, but their brain is saying, full alert, I don't know what to do. This
mhm.
person is asking me this. They're expecting me to blah, blah, blah. They think I'm going to roll over. They blah, blah, blah. And I love the way you said it, because I'm always like, let's just act as if this is a simple question, because I don't know any better. And the
Mhm.
first line of defense I always say is just explain. That's how you make money.
Yeah.
This is a business.
Honest conversation.
Yes. And what's funny is I said, and listen, go do it. And
Mhm,
if they raise the blood pressure, if the conversation gets out of control, if you can handle it, handle it. And if you can't, you can excuse yourself and say, listen, you know what? I gave you my reasoning, whatever it is, but you can say, I suggest we table this and we'll come back to this. Let's talk about it again tomorrow. I said, come back to me, because
mhm.
then we'll figure out the strategy for the next one. But I have to tell you, 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times, they're like, I told them and they just said, oh, okay. And I'm like, I know,
I
I
know. Yes.
know.
Yes.
Because people, listen, we know that there are unkind, unscrupulous,
Mhm,
manipulative people. There are.
mhm,
It's a
mhm,
big planet. But I have to
mhm.
tell you, I think 99% of our clients, when they ask questions like that, they just don't know.
Yeah.
And they've heard somebody else say, some Instagram, person, I
Mhm.
give all my discounts to you, and that's why you should use an interior designer, because you save money. And I'm like, that is literally not why you use an interior designer. Literally
Yeah.
not. But like, if they've seen that on Instagram, or they've heard that from, like, to your point, their past designer or their friend's
Mhm.
designer, you know, most of the time they're just checking.
Yeah.
And when you tell them, they go, oh. And
Oh.
so I
Mhm,
love that. That's such a very insightful way to package that. Cross
mhm,
out confrontation and, label it as conversation. And anybody
mhm.
that's coached with me, they're like, oh, you're going to say that all the time. And I'll quote you, Em. I will. I'll give you
Yeah.
credit, because it's exactly my philosophy on it, but it's that in
Mhm.
a nutshell. It makes it
Yeah.
very, I always say it's easy breezy. Everything is easy breezy until it's not. You'll know
Mhm,
when it's not. Like this
mhm,
this first question, this first pushback, is we haven't left easy breezy lane yet. We're
mhm.
still there, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
So
All
there's
right.
about
So,
a dozen other questions like that. We tackle
yeah.
them, and I talk a lot about the honeymoon phase of each project, and that's when you really hit home with those tough conversations you've been worried about through past projects. It's no upfront when they're so excited to start this project with you. These are
Yeah.
all the things that we're going to discuss or that we will point out in the contract, and they're going to save you down the line. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you also cover things like software that you use.
Hmm.
Do you, how do you handle that, Emily? Do you like, look, there's 16,000 softwares. This is the one I use. I'm going to teach it to you. Or you do an overview of a couple different ones and just the importance of having, a project management system. How do you handle that?
I mean, this sounds like we cover so much, right? Everything we do as a design firm, from that first initial call until the last, to the install of the furniture. There's a million moving pieces within all of that. We have developed this program into condensed sections of each phase of the project, and so that when you go home, it's very easy to digest and implement. But at the very, very beginning, I go through the like 5 software programs we use. Most of them that we
Gotcha.
use, designers are already using, but I talk through why I use them. But that you don't have to use those software programs. There's
Right.
plenty of good ones out there. I am just going to talk about the features we use them for and why that has changed our business drastically. If something hasn't changed our business drastically, I'm not talking about it.
Right.
Use whatever project management software you want, but I'm going to show you all of our project management task lists. And so you implement it however you want. But this is what we use. and why. And then they have that information when they go home to then use it with the software they already use or transition to the software that we use.
Yeah, it sounds like to me that if I'm putting myself in that place, in that room, I'm either learning that you're using the same software I'm using, but I've been driving it around the block
Mhm.
30 miles an hour
Yep.
instead of 100,
Yep.
or I'm like, great, I'm using this right, or I'm thinking about how I'm currently doing something and saying, huh, her way seems better. So it's an
Yeah.
opportunity for comparison and analysis, is what it seems like for me.
Exactly. The entire program is designers sitting there doing comparison analysis. And the first day, I see a lot of panic in some eyes, right? And I tell everyone at the very beginning, at the end of the day, you're going to be panicking a little bit. Just trust me. By the end of this trip, you will have a huge light bulb go off and you will see how it all flows perfectly together and that it's very easy to implement. But at the beginning, it feels like you're going to have to, you need new clients, you need different clients, and that's just not true. You're going to have the same clients you've always had. You're going to continue with those clients, but you're going to be doing your business very differently.
Nice,
And it's
nice.
simple.
Good,
Mm-hmm.
good. Okay. And then you have I'm going to call it a module or a section or a part of the day that's devoted to, it says intake calls.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you find are the challenges and the things that you've helped fix in regard to the point that you have it as a section in the event as intake calls? So, it's like
Yeah.
that first contact, right?
Yeah, the intake calls, I would have never imagined that was a very important thing. That you would think you can take a call with anybody and sell them your services and hopefully they sign up with you, right? But I started tracking data several years ago, and I hired someone to help me do this because I am a designer. I don't track data. I'm not great at it. So we started tracking data on our intake calls. And what we found was we were able to say a few different things throughout those intake calls to sell full furnishing packages that we weren't able to sell before.
Whoa. Oh.
And so it became extremely valuable tracking that data. And now I was able to take all of those little psychology things we found, wrap them up in a tiny little bow, and give it to you. And I record, when we're there, I do a fake call with someone's pretend client that they have dealt with before, and show them how I navigate those different things. And every point I managed to hit during that call, and it feels very, very natural, and it has cut out a ton of pain points. For example, not being able to sell enough furniture through a project, like we've changed that. We have found a way to positively get a client to let us know if they're going to be shopping us online, and they're not even realizing they're doing it, right? We have found different ways to have a bad client show themselves to us.
Wow.
And so it's just been very interesting along the way. It's all simple and easy, and we also say certain things that dissuade our clients from sending us links through the project, right? If they found a light fixture and they want to send us a link, it's like, how do you stop that? So many designers struggle with that. And it's like, oh, remember that incoming client call, or that, potential client call, the intake call. Remember those lines we said? Yeah, you just reinforced that, but they heard this in the beginning, so they're likely not going to do it down the line.
Yeah.
And it's just delivered in such a positive way that they don't even realize they're being corralled.
Mm. That's good. That's great. I love that. And then you also cover proposals in
Yep.
this. How? Because you have found a better way that. Now I'm curious. Your school of thought. Do you do your proposals in person, or do you send them an email and hope somebody reads them and calls you back?
So it's really interesting. I've tried all of the ways and I've had great success with many different ways. Currently in my business, we do not deliver them in person.
Interesting.
I don't even take my incoming client calls. My operations manager does it. She velvet ropes me beautifully.
Okay.
And this design proposal, if I met with every single person that I sent a proposal to, just the way my business is now, I just would be out of time. Like I'd be doing that
Okay.
all the time.
Because your
So
business has grown to that level at this point.
grown, but even back when I was small, I was still just delivering them via email, and we were still extremely successful. Like
So let me
so
take it apart for a second. I know you have more to say on it, but
sure.
here's because people who listen to the show are thinking LuAnn doesn't
Yeah.
like this. So I
No,
need
no,
to
no. And
clarify it.
I get that.
Well,
I
and I
totally get
just want
that.
to clarify because in this short time, I've already learned how intentional every conversation is that you have. There's
Mhm.
nothing that you're winging it. You're not,
Mhm.
and if you have an ops manager that is doing your intake calls and all of the things, then this is different than somebody with lack of sales savvy, lack of
Mhm.
objectivity on if it's a right client fit or not,
Mhm.
lack of ability to frame that intake call so that when the proposal hits, there's an expectation of what to see in that.
Yeah.
And so, what I want to say for everybody who's like, well, I isn't gonna like that. Like, I want to say, like, but if you're managing it
Mhm.
at this level all the
Yep.
way through, then sending it, because it's funny because it reminds me of me at WindowWorks.
Mhm.
I did not do 30, 40, $50,000 proposals in person,
Mhm.
but I had established the steps all the way that this is just fait accompli at this point.
Mhm.
Whereas when I have newer salespeople at WindowWorks and through Exciting Windows and sales trainings that I do across the country for window treatment professionals, it's like if you're not savvy and seasoned and you're not managing every conversation intentionally, then yeah, I want you to go do it in person
Yeah.
because I want you to see the eyeballs. I want you to see the reaction because that's how you get ghosted. You just leave it, right?
Yes, yes. So and that's the thing is like I'm really good at this.
Yeah.
And I've collected the data
Yes.
to show that I'm extremely successful in what I'm doing, and that's why anyone I teach, I'm like you better be collecting your data
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because there's going to be things that you are doing that are not helping you and
Yeah.
things, and you'll see the red flags because I give all the attendees my data and then how they can collect their own. So they can side by side
Wow.
see my data versus their data. And if something's not, computing correctly, they can raise their hand and say, hey, you know, I'm not having success with this. And I've only had one person call me and say that. And I was like, oh, that's because you forgot to do A. And they're like,
It's
oh
usually
my
they're
gosh,
leaving a step out.
they left
Yes.
a step out. So for me, this has been extremely successful in that I worked with Rachel Johansson,
Mm.
someone you work with all the time. We talked a
Yep.
lot about velvet roping myself.
Yeah.
And I am velvet roped and people are begging me to work with them. I am not begging them to work with me. And we've done that, I think, a really good job at that. And so that's why I can just send this design proposal out. If I really, really want the job, like, I don't know, let's say I'm slow, I will curate a package to be delivered to them.
Yeah.
I will add that little extra personalization, but we're able
Hmm.
to sell what we do
Yeah.
very well. So I'm not doing those in person.
It's based on experience, right?
Yes.
But you
Yes.
do, and see, for me, if somebody is newer in
Mm-hmm.
business, I want them to get, smacked on their butt in the in-person proposal. I want them to
Yes.
understand where when they explain something they're getting the deer in the headlights look and the person doesn't understand it, right? Like,
Yes.
because you cannot fine tune your process if you just send it in an email and you don't see and process the reactions. Do you agree, Emily?
I agree 100%. And I think that's where my program, it is not a take little bits and pieces of what you like and expect to see what I do. It's no,
Yeah.
you do every piece the way I do it and you can expect to see what I am doing
Yeah.
because that intake call is extremely
It
important
determines the success of the proposal,
of the
right?
proposal. Yeah, that's why when I thought, oh, I'm going to take designers and show them how to do wholesale furniture, I realized, oh no, no, no. This goes all the way back to that intake call. And then
Yeah.
it goes to the design proposal and then it goes to the contract. And
Yeah.
and it's like you just kind of need to do it all step by step to see the result you're wanting.
It's so true. I mean, we teach the Exciting Windows Signature Make a Friend 7-step selling system. And, you know, probably the most significant step. All 7 are significant because of what you just said. It's a stack,
Yes.
right? But
Yes.
the one that saves you physically tons of time and anguish is the eyeball estimate step.
Mhm.
But people will try and do that without doing step 1A and
Mhm.
1B. And I'm
Mhm.
like, well, we can't do that step if you've skipped 1A and 1B and gone to step 2 or to step 3. And
Mhm.
so I agree with you 100%. It's like, whatever the process is, it has to be followed. And if you follow it, you will duplicate the results, right?
Yes. Yes. If at the end of that intake call, they are not begging you to take on their project because you have not sold them what your deliverables are, yeah, you might want to sit down and do that design proposal in person so that you can tell
Yeah.
them what you do. But we have created a way that no, we're doing it on that Zoom call.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That initial
Yeah.
Zoom call. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's awesome. Now, when you talk about the tours through the buildings
Mhm.
and the vendor relationships and stuff, what are
Mhm.
some of the things that you find that the designers appreciate most about that? About learning about the vendors, about the pricing structures, about the discount structures. What are what's the ROI of doing that with you rather than just walking the building aimlessly?
Well, I mean, there are so many bad vendors at market, and
Oh, I didn't
um,
expect that answer. That's
well,
interesting.
just I think I'm teaching people how to do market efficiently, right? You can go to market, you can take pictures of a million things, but unless you go home and you do something with those
Oh,
things,
yeah.
like what was the
What was
point
the
of the
point?
trip?
Yes,
Right?
I
So
agree.
I'm teaching them how after many, many, many market trips, I've learned to make those trips extremely effective for me. And then also how I have conversations with reps. A lot of people are really intimidated.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk money, or they're nervous to ask those hard questions, and so I just basically go and we meet with a vendor and I display for them, all right, let's talk money. How am I making money with your product? How are you supporting me in the background? Why would I use you versus this vendor over here? And then in the process, designers are raising their hand and saying, I just, I can't sell a $16,000 couch to my client. And I will give them a dozen reasons as to why that's a limit they're putting on themselves. And
Mm.
that is not something that their client even wants them to bring into the air, right? Like the client has hired you to get a much better quality product. They've already bought the, you know, RH cloud sofa in the past. They've already spent that kind of money.
It's already sunk down to the floor and the cushions have
they've
all
been
gotten ruined
extremely
already.
disappointed with it. So why do you think your client won't spend that money?
Right.
You're putting your wallet in their pocket, and they're hiring you because you are the professional to give them a good product. So
Mm.
it's just all of those conversations to help change the mindset of this designer thinking their only job is to save people money, and it's like, no, they want a really well designed home with quality products that they can't go get themselves.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like when I hear a designer, and I hear it often, too often, and mostly I see it, in Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And it's like, well, I'm here to save you money. I'm like, that is
Oh,
not your
no.
value prop. That is
Mm-mm.
not it. Like
Mm-hmm.
saving money is doing it without you.
Mm-hmm.
That's saving
Exactly.
money. It's like
Yeah.
you've been hired as an expert. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just crazy. Think about any luxury service that you do. You don't engage in that luxury service because you're saving money,
No.
right? Like you don't buy a Mercedes because you're saving money. You
No.
buy a Hyundai because you're saving money. And then
Mm-hmm.
crying out loud, you can get a Hyundai that's $1 million at this point. Or, you know what I'm saying? It's like
No.
that's not the mindset of the consumer that is engaging in a luxury discourse.
Yeah.
And
Our
when the
our.
designer
Mm-hmm.
does that, they shoot themselves in the foot, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Our clients are looking for the Ritz-Carlton service,
Yes.
and you're doing it at a price that you can only afford the Motel 8 customer service. So
Right.
you better start aligning yourself with the services you're offering. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And then other things that you cover, and we don't have to talk about every single one of them, but you go through and you cover processes and timelines and
Yeah.
warehouse and receiving best practices, quotes, ordering, tracking, spec
Mm-hmm.
book installs, all of these things. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very comprehensive. And
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing I would say is talk to us a little bit, Emily, about why you.
Yeah.
Why I understand you run a big firm. You've said many things today that also express that, but where does your credibility sit in that you run this event and you have successfully run? If it was your first time, I'd be like, well, you can tell me all the things, but
Mhm.
in your own firm and in the past events, tell me why you.
I so it's a great question, and there's many programs out there teaching, some of these things, but the fact is, I'm taking you to market, and I'm showing you how to do it. I'm opening up my books to you. I'm explaining what I've done before. I have tried everything, and the success I'm having, there's so many design firms out there that have great success, right? But the success I'm having, I haven't met anyone else that has the like quality of life and um peace, right? Like we're burnt out, we're chaotic, we don't want to open our emails. Like I have every part of my business I've set up so that I can open my emails and not stress. Like,
Mm.
and so I can have a small team that is manageable and still do a ton of business. And and like when I realized what I was doing, I it just became so apparent that I have to teach this to other
Mm.
people. And um and and it became really exciting for me to watch other people's success. So I think some of the things that separate me um, versus other people is that we do not go on site during construction. So I'll talk a little bit about spec books right now.
Okay.
Not that I won't go on site. I'll 100% go on site. If someone ever wants me there, I will be there in half of a second. But I'm not managing your contractor. I will deliver them everything they could possibly need up front for them to bid your job and then build your job. And if he does something wrong, that's on him. But I am not going to be stepping into the babysitter position for someone's bad contractor and terrible subs. I have
I
delivered
love it.
a stunning spec book that if they don't know how to do something or have a question on something, they can call me and I'll say, see page 16. And eventually they're going to feel quite dumb for not
Yes,
looking and
because
reading the
every
plans.
time you have the answer, right?
Yes, every time I have the answer. I spent years keeping lists of questions I got from contractors or subs. And I have made sure in our checklist that we provide that thing up front.
Wow.
So I tell my clients, they all ask, are you going to manage our project? No, I do not manage your project. That is your contractor's job. And I will make sure he has every little bit of information he needs to do his job efficiently, effectively. There's not going to be change orders. Like
Yeah.
we're not doing that. So our internal project process has solved our issues with change orders, out of scope items, anything happening during construction. We don't face that. And other
It's
design
crazy.
firms, no matter how long they've been in business, cannot fathom how we do that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it all starts with the timeline we present at the beginning. And it all starts with the feedback we require they give us at first round of revision and at second round of revision. And we do not enter spec book phase until 100% of items have been approved and signed off on. So we only get a call from the contractor if something has been discontinued, out of stock, but that's it.
Right.
And so I can't tell you how many projects we have finished in the last 3 or 4 years that I'm seeing it for the first time when we install the furniture.
Wow.
So I
And you're
don't
talking
find me
about like full builds. You're not talking
full
about like
builds.
a family room.
Nope, full builds, full renovations, 10,000 square foot homes. Um, I don't know anyone else that can say that. And
Yeah.
those contractors are referring us over and over again because they're not facing change orders over and over and over. And so can, and also we can finish a design for a 10,000 square foot home in 3 months. Like, not because we're not doing a very thorough, good, amazing job, but it's just we're on a timeline. you have been given this time with us, so they respect the time that they have with us.
Mm,
They provide full, complete feedback before we move on to the next phase. And so it's just been so efficient that our clients are like, wow, that was way easier than I thought. And it's
wow.
like, amen, because I don't want to hear from you anymore. I don't want to, things like that. It's
That's
been
crazy.
unbelievable that I just have something that I haven't seen anyone else be able to do.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it's you know what it is in conversation and hearing about it, it makes perfectly good sense. If you give all of the details and all of the information, why are you answering questions, at any point in the thing? It's all there. Um, that makes logical sense to me. But
Mm-hmm.
I think delivering that level of detail with that level of all the bases have been covered is one thing to strive for. It's another thing to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really remarkable that you're at that level, that you've been able to perfect your process and systems to the point that that's happening.
Yeah.
And that's remarkable.
Yeah, and I just guide the attendees on how did I get to that point, and what kind of people was I, what kind of designers was I looking for when I was hiring, and but it's really just it's a checklist. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you just got to make sure you tell them where you want the cabinet hardware before the cabinets go in, right? And so it's like if
Right.
you don't
Instead of
have a tech.
leaving that off and I'll stand there and you'll call me and I'll run over.
Yeah, and so it's checklists, and it's exactly how we use design files to make sure those checklists are front and center, and we're adding all those things along the way. So it's like first round of revision, they've already seen their disposal button. Like
Wow.
it's everything is in there so that they have to approve it all before we move on.
Yeah.
And it's really a way to kind of overwhelm your clients in the best way. There is
Right.
so much information there. They have seen you have it, that you clearly have it covered. They're backing off
Right.
because
Right.
needy clients are just the bane of our existence.
Right.
And I can take on a needy client all day long, and my process still runs the same, and we're still as efficient and effective because they know I am captain of the ship.
I love it. Now, it's funny, the other part of that, I think almost every practical thing that you do in an interior design project and the way you have to manage it or display it or talk about it or present it also has the mindset counterpart. So, for example, when you have complete faith and trust that you described in the beginning of that section about, like, I don't go on the job. Like, if you have a question, look at page 16. Where's your question? I'll tell you what page.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not, if like your contractor is lazy and he or she screwed up, like, that's not me. And that's the mindset thing. I know that one time I
Mm-hmm.
had conversation with a designer who got an email from a client that was questioning, something went wrong, and they came into the house, whatever it was. I don't remember. It was several months ago, but something about something went wrong, and a window was in the wrong spot, or a window wasn't there, or something. I don't know what it was, and the point was, as I'm listening to the designer describe it to me, and I like just came back, I'm like, this seems like a everybody else problem, not you problem.
Mm-hmm.
And, the first reaction was, well, I mean, they're asking me about it. And I'm like, okay, I get that they're asking you about it, but in talking to me about it, you said it's on your drawing in a certain spot. It's da 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 and da 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 da, and that's
Mm-hmm.
been delivered to the contractor and to the architect and to the client. And the designer was like, "Well, all of that's true." I'm like, "So where's the you part of this problem that the
Yeah.
window's in the wrong spot?" And she said, "Well, I guess I just feel like, my client is coming to me and is upset, and she's coming to me." And I'm like, well, turn her little head around
Mm-hmm.
back towards the contractor who put it in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like what I was saying at the beginning. It's like this, like, to use your words, it's not a confrontation, it's a conversation. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I see now that you sent me the picture, the window is in the wrong spot, but that's the wrong spot
Mm-hmm.
in the house, but that's not where it is on my drawing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good luck with Bob
I
the Builder and figure it out. I'm out.
Yeah, yeah. I think as a lot of us designers are female, and a lot of us are mothers, and if the the trash doesn't get taken out, we take it out, right?
That's
We're
right, right.
managing, we're managing everyone's schedules, and we want this project to turn out perfect. But a lot of designers will not, they will choose to turn over a design package that isn't 100% tied up
Right.
with the understanding, well, the contractor is going to call me, so I'll answer his question then, not realizing that that puts you in a babysitter role.
Yeah.
And if you are not going to give them all the information up front, they're just going to give your number to their subs. And then
Yeah.
their subs are going to be calling you. They're going to want you on site, and you're going to be, so busy, you'll just swing by, and your entire year is just you stopping at job sites
Fire alarms.
and
Yeah.
fire alarms. And if you put yourself in the position to babysit your contractor subs, he's going to love that.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
his job. And
Yep.
so maybe put a little bit more effort into the package up front so
Yeah.
that the contractor can do his job. Stop
Yeah.
inserting yourself as project manager. I do not understand why designers project manage. It makes zero sense. You don't
Right.
make any money. Sell furniture. Like, bottom line, 20% of your income should be from design fees, 80% should be from sales.
Love it.
You know,
Love it. I love it. I love it. And the end of that was that I said, look, I think you just got to go back and say, in outside voice, the inside voice is, this is everybody else's problem but mine, and
yeah.
and I said, I do think it's a phone call. I don't think I would say something like this in an email. And I said, and just stand there and take it. And the truth was, when she explained it, the client was like, oh, I guess I better call Bob.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, like I guess you better.
Yeah, I just sometimes once in a blue moon,
it just wasn't a big deal,
Once in a while, I'll have to say, man, I'm so sorry. He's been an awful contractor. If you want to switch contractors, let me know, but let him know the correct design is on page 18. Like, it's as simple as that.
That's right. It's like, when, to your point, when the document is complete and it's factual and it's not missing anything, there is peace of mind for you in it. And, when they make mistakes, it's clear. And I don't remember. I don't even know if they ended up moving the window and doing all the things, but that's all them. Like, what's your best case scenario? What's Bob the builder offering you for having the window in the wrong spot? Like, is I don't know, is he building a cabana in the back as a payment back? Or is he going to move all the framing and move the window where it's supposed to be? Right. It's not a you problem.
Yeah.
So I love that. And now a couple of things, one of the designers, Allie, who attended your 3-day business edit, went from doing $73,000 in 1 year to $544,000 in gross revenue the next year. I mean, that's a pretty good return on investment, I would say. And then also, what I also loved when I was looking at the testimonials is that there were many places where it indicated that you can get immediate wins and quick implementation, because I love the idea that my revenue goes from 75 to 550,000. I love that idea, but that takes me 3, 5, 6 months to realize that. But I also love that I spend 3 days with my head down, and based on some of these testimonials and reviews I'm seeing, they're also getting immediate wins where they're just jacked up, and that's a thing that's going to save my life today, not in 6 months, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think a lot of people, when they hear this sales pitch, automatically think, well, I don't have those celebrity clients or those billionaire clients. It's like, no, that's not what this program is about. This program, I am showing you all the money that you are just leaving on the table for your contractor to collect, for this person to collect, this person to collect. You're giving it away. Your clients are not spending more money. They're spending the exact same amount of money. You just now know which vendors to buy these products from, or how to do certain things, or all of the mistakes you're making, right? I'm showing you all of that. So you're still doing the same projects you were always doing. I'm just teaching you, why would you ever charge hourly? That's the dumbest thing, right? Once your process is in place, right? If you don't have a process, charge hourly because you're a mess and you need to charge hourly. But once you have the process in place, Like, you know exactly how long this is going to take you. They can't run wild with you, right? They've got this meeting and this meeting. And so you're going to charge for your talent, your time, your expertise, and you're going to make far more money than just hourly or consultations, paid consultations, right?
Okay.
Why I don't ever do that, or,
Right.
certain little things that a lot of designers do and are still very successful, but I show them reasons and examples and proof as to why I do not do that.
Mm.
And so they change tiny little things. Like, I had a designer recently say, I got off my discovery call with you, and there was something you said to me that I went and did with a client, and I made $2,800 where I used to charge them $300. So I
Whoa.
signed up for your program immediately. I'm like, yeah, it's just all these little things that you don't think about, and I'm just
Yeah.
sharing a different perspective with you.
Yeah.
And so you're able to change the way you're doing things.
Yeah. I love that, because sometimes when we do things, it is to learn how to quote unquote get to the next level client, right? And
Yes.
command higher fees. And there's value in learning how to do that too, because you do
Of
have to
course.
level up and do all the things.
Yes.
But this is, you're running the same track. You're just going to
Hmm.
run it faster and better with
Hmm.
a different, it's like correcting the form. It's like,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
that's what I like about it. Everything I've read about it, everything I know about our conversation at market, everything our conversation today tells me that it's the type of thing where, like I always say when I talk to my prospective chairman of the boards, I want to find out where you are doing really good. What are the things you do really good? And we want to leverage those and
Hmm.
maximize those. And
Hmm.
I want to find out the things that you're not good at, and we want to
Hmm.
mitigate those. We
Yeah.
don't want to turn things that you're not good into superpowers. We just want to like adjust for them. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so this is what that seems. It's like you're not taking somebody and saying you've got to dump all your current clients. You're
No.
saying you've got a roster,
Hmm.
and we're going to learn what you do good, and we're going to do better at it. And we're going to learn where you're leaving money on the table and where you're inefficient so that you can mitigate it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people think, well, how come you don't sell tile to your clients? I can make money on that. It's like, if I'm slow and I need to sell tile to them, I'll sell tile to them. But the amount of money I make on it is pennies compared to the money I make on furniture. So why don't I
Yeah.
focus on furniture? And it's a lot of people just don't know the areas that they could be making money. They're just missing it
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of opening all that up to them, right? Like,
Right.
yeah.
I love it. And then before I ask how to sign up and how to learn about it and all that, I know that you mentioned to me, and I don't think we covered it on air, Emily, is like you actually give them all your documents and your Google documents. So,
Hmm.
like, in my mind, you'll explain what it is that you're actually giving. But when you told me that off air, I thought to myself, that's the safety net for, if I'm going to be here for 3 days and I'm going to learn 20 new things,
Hmm.
maybe in real time, I can digest 3 of them with
Right.
mastery,
Right.
5 or 6 of them, I kind of get it. And there's another 5 or 6 that I'm like, yeah, no brain space for that right now. But you know what? As I work through it and I get better, now I might be like 2 months later, like, oh, let me
Yeah.
go to Emily's. Like, it's not like the information and the learnings are lost. So tell us a little
Right.
bit about that, because I think that's valuable, Emily.
Yeah, so I've created a Google Drive. We also have, like a workbook we use as we go through the program, and it'll say, intake calls, and you can keep your notes there. But really, in that Google Drive folder labeled intake calls, there is the script we use. There is the Google sheet where we keep data on our calls. There's anything you could that we teach you there is in that folder.
Yeah.
So let's say you get home and someone wants to chat with you and you're ready to implement your new processes. You just open up that folder, take that call. Then when it comes to proposals, you open up that proposal folder. You see our proposals, how we do them. You have our contract. We give it to you. And I walk you through um, what I used to do. And there's even a folder in there called what not to do and what to do and why. And I walk you through the psychology of behind all of that. And then, comes to project processes. You get our Asana template, our full Asana template that you can hire 3 new people tomorrow and just start assigning them things. And so this is pretty much an onboarding process for new employees as well.
Wow.
Your entire business is in a Google Drive folder, exactly how you do it, how you want it to look. And at any point in your process throughout a project, you can open up that folder and reference all those documents. Let's say you're getting to install and you don't even have an install kit or an install agreement, right? Like, we have our clients sign an install agreement that they're to be gone, no pets. What's your alarm code? Make sure your thermostat is set to this. What's your internet password? Like, there are so many things you haven't even thought about that we have
Wow.
perfected and are just in that folder for you. So
Wow.
it's phenomenal.
That's amazing. That level of attention to detail is pretty remarkable, Emily. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing. So here's the thing. Tell me again, what's the either max people that come or generally the amount of people, so I have an idea of how many people I'm fighting for your attention with.
Yeah. I have kind of found the sweet spot is 10 people.
So that's small enough to really, really get in over 3 days.
Yeah, definitely. It's small enough of a group that everyone is getting all their questions answered, raising
Yes.
hands, but big enough group that we can hear enough experiences from
Yes.
different parts of the country, different cultures, things like that. So typically we're around 10 people.
Yep.
We go
I
to
love
Vegas
it.
for 3 days. The cost is $8,500. We're doing $1,000 discount for LuAnn listeners
Very
through this
nice.
podcast. Yep. And you're basically walking away with a 20-year design firm program on
Wow.
how to do it, what to do. We even share our financial data with you. So you have our financial data and how we keep it and how you can then keep yours. It sounds complicated. It sounds complex. All of this sounds like so much. But once you dive in and you open the folders, we have simplified it. We have removed all the fat. There is no
Wow.
fat in this. It's the things that work.
That's awesome. Well, like I said, that is to me a big value add, that the whole folder comes with me, right? That
Yeah.
I get to download it, I get to have it, because I do know there's only so much you can take in 3 days, so
Yeah.
much that you can recall, so much that you can implement. And, with a value like this, that it's the gift that keeps giving. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't have a formal install for 7 months after I've been to your program. And
Right.
I'm going to sit here and look at my scribble notes in a journal from
No.
what I learned.
No, this is your Bible and you're going to work off of
Yeah.
it forever. And then your future hires are going to work off of it forever. And it's, yeah, you're right. It's the gift that keeps on giving. People spend how much money on their college degrees, but then leave and don't know how to make money. Now,
Right.
This is exactly how you're going to go make money.
I love that. Now, what we do is we want to go to Urban Revival phx.com, which will be in the show notes.
Yes.
And we fill out a little form and we set up a complimentary 15-minute curiosity call. I love that you call it a curiosity call, and just kind of ask the questions and yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess there's a moment where you and the person on the other line decide if it's a good fit or not.
Yeah.
And if they want to join at that point, then you'll give them access and they can sign up. And if they say that they heard about it from this podcast episode, you're going to save $1,000.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, and then we're airing this in December 2025, and the event that we're talking about right now is happening in January of 2026.
Yes,
right?
Correct. We'll do on January 2026 and then end of July 2026. Just anytime there's a Vegas market, we're heading there with a group of designers.
Okay. I love it. This really, I mean, I'm not an interior designer, and my brain is like, I would love to be there for 3 days.
Yeah, I know. My vendors always say the same thing. I'm like, come along, because once you realize what this is doing for people, I know you will spread the word that much faster.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those things where between your airfare, your hotel, everything else, you turn $10K into hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
you really
I
do.
mean, it's really hard for some people to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why that curiosity call is fun, because I can open up a document and say, this is what I'm assuming your projects look like. And I say, you're probably charging this, you're probably doing this, you're probably doing this. well, if you did the exact same thing that you're currently doing, but the way I do it, this is how much money you would have made buying the exact same products.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's a no-brainer. And the reason we came up with that number is because in one tiny little bedroom, you can make that money back.
yeah.
It's just the gift
Yeah.
that keeps on giving. It's a no-brainer.
Well, I mean, that's what it is when you really do learn transformational information, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not about what it costs. It's the investment into
Yeah.
getting from A to Z
Mm-hmm.
right there, as opposed to
Yeah.
trial and error and losing all the money along the way and
Yeah.
not maximizing the amount of money you can make. So I'm
Yeah.
with you 110%, Emily. I think it's an awesome, awesome thing. And I guess before you go, is there anything I didn't ask you about it? Like, is there anything that we left off the table that you feel like somebody should know or they should think about? I mean, one thing I don't know that we said this. In your mind, you can be new in design or you can be
Mm-hmm.
seasoned. You had said to me, there is very, and it was fun. Well, I asked you, is it for new designers or more experience? Tell me your answer you gave me because I loved it.
I have set it up in a way that it is, kind of that master's degree for the new designers who haven't really gotten their feet wet. They can skip the learning curve from the very beginning. Like I'm jealous of those people, right? But it is, I think, most um, mind blowing for people who have been in the business a long time, and are so tired of
Yeah.
like the things we deal with because they've already been in it long enough to see exactly what I'm talking about. And then
Yeah.
when I give them the tools to nip all of that in the bud, nip that, they're just the light bulb is that much brighter.
Yeah.
The to be able to see that's how an experienced designer can go from 74 to 544. She was already doing the projects.
Right.
She was just leaving so much money on the table. So I love seeing experienced designers come in because they are able to fly.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
know what they didn't know, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so new designers, fabulous for them. They don't have to make the same mistakes.
Great
But
first start. Why swing the
yes,
bat the wrong way? Swing it the right
exactly.
way from the first year.
Exactly. But if you're a very experienced design firm, but your project manager, you don't have time to train her, right? Send that project manager. Send your junior designer, your senior designer, like anyone from your team can come learn this program and implement it for your firm. So it's
Yeah.
for anyone that is
Yeah.
designing.
And I believe that. That doesn't sound like, just salesmanship to me because I just know in my own experience as well when I do Power Talk Friday, which is a small event, and we have designers that are, brand new in business in 10 years in business and 20 years in business. And you each need a different thing. You explained it perfectly. The newer ones, why reinvent the wheel, everything, but the older, more seasoned ones, it's like the thing that's driving you to drink,
Mm-hmm.
the bottlenecks, like just
Mm-hmm.
come and get them cleaned out, right?
Yeah.
um and when you have a group that small, you really can address
Mm-hmm.
everybody without
Yeah.
it being like a room of 100 people and it's like,
Yeah.
you know so I think it's awesome, Emily. I am like really, really, really impressed by what you've created, and
Thank you.
I'll see you in Vegas. I will be there. So I will see you and run into you. And
Yeah,
anybody that goes and signs up because of the podcast, make sure you tell me
I
so I can
will.
say hello, right?
I will.
It'll be great. And I guess, I mean, wow, just good luck, Emily. Good luck.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for doing this for the industry. I think it's a
Yeah.
great service.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Before we wrap up, I want to pull a few things together for you because this conversation was packed and I don't want you to miss the lessons hiding underneath. First, did you notice how often Emily came back to systems and talking about systems? Okay. And not systems to make things rigid, systems to make things calmer, systems to protect profit and timelines and client relationships. And that is not accidental. When you don't have clear processes, you end up reacting instead of leading. You answer the same questions over and over and over. And you manage contractors instead of directing them. And you lose money in places you don't even see. The second thing is listen carefully to what she said about furniture and profitability. Many designers are working just as hard as Emily. same effort, same hours, same stress, but they're keeping a fraction of the profit because they don't understand where the real money is or how to structure it correctly. Okay. Again, like I said in the intro, this is not a talent issue. This is a business education issue. Now, the third thing is, and this one matters, is Emily didn't build her firm by guessing, hoping, or figuring it out one project at a time. She built it by deciding to be intentional about how the business part actually works, right? Excellence is a decision. We say it all the time, right? So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I know I need more structure, but I don't know what to fix first, then I have to say the business edit might be the answer for you. And the next business edit takes place during Las Vegas market, January 27th to 29th, 2026. It's just around the corner. And then she'll have another session summer of 2026 in July. All right. This is a 3-day in-person immersion. And Emily keeps it intentionally small so that you get real access, real clarity, and real answers about your own business. Now, before you go running off and enrolling, Emily offers a complimentary 15-minute curiosity call. It's not a sales call. It's a smart conversation to help you determine if this is the right next step for you where you are right now in your business. And as a well-designed business listener, you heard her. If you decide to move forward and you mentioned that you heard about the business edit right here from me, then Emily is offering you $1,000 off of the program tuition. That's a pretty meaningful incentive, okay? But more importantly, it's an invitation to stop spinning and start running your business like a business. You can learn more and book your curiosity call by visiting urbanrevivalphx.com. And the link is also in the show notes. Now, you don't need more hustle, you need more clarity. And I think that, a couple of days with Emily might be just what the doctor ordered. So thank you so much, Emily, for joining us today and for sharing this opportunity with us. And thank you for listening today. Decide to be excellent. Thank you for joining me today. This podcast is a production of LuAnn Niagara, Inc. If you want to know more about me, my books, or LuAnn University, go to LuAnnNiagara.com. And if you are interested in having WindowWorks help you with your next window treatment or awning project in the New York, New Jersey metro area, go to WindowWorksNJ.com to learn more. Have an excellent day.